As of March 17, 2025, the IRS has already laid off 6,000 to 7,000 employees with plans for potentially up to 45,000 more cuts. Hi, I'm tax attorney Anthony Parent of IRSMedic, and for the last 20 years, I've been protecting my clients from the terrible abuse of the world's worst tax regime of all time, the IRS. So you'd think I'd be thrilled with an IRS being cut down to size. And perhaps there will be things to celebrate, but right now, I'm not entirely sure these layoffs are a good thing. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of the IRS, nor am I a fan of any government that would authorize an IRS to terrorize us with rules few can understand. In this video, I'm going to go over the good, the bad, and the ugly of the 2025 IRS layoffs. Be sure to watch until the end, as I'll be giving some key advice on how you can best protect yourself during this time of uncertainty and potentially hope. But before I get into the good, the bad, and the ugly, I want to explain who was actually let go. The IRS's two main auditing and enforcement divisions got hit the hardest. The small business self-employed unit lost thousands of probationary employees, along with the large business and international division. Here's our only good news so far. There will be fewer audits and less field enforcement, fewer revenue agents to audit you, and fewer revenue officers to collect from you. Now, that's probably all the good news for now. Let's get to the bad. First, the IRS is 100% in existence, and worse, its lack of staffing, which it has suffered for years, has only made the agency more arbitrary and adversarial. The IRS must be nastier to the few it can audit. So while there's less IRS, that will mean little if you are the one they are targeting. Second, IRS settlement officers have been let go. These officers work for IRS appeals, and many of them are really good and helpful in finding realistic solutions for tax problems. Fewer settlement officers is a bad thing. It means more IRS injustice will be upheld. Third, IRS taxpayer advocates have been let go. This is terrible news. Taxpayer advocates have been incredibly helpful in solving problems as the IRS has gone completely off the rails post-COVID. Fewer advocates means less help for taxpayers struggling to find relief from what can be a vicious, inhumane agency. Fourth, some of these laid-off hires were working on amended returns. It's very common for us to file amended returns for our battered clients who are forced to overpay the IRS every year because they lacked a tax professional who really wanted to work for them and not the IRS. Here's the problem. Amended returns already take too long to process. And with these staffing cuts, it means a lot of people won't see the refunds that they are legally entitled to anytime soon. Fifth, IRS morale was already low. Now it's even worse. This means many employees don't see the point in working hard, being at their desk, or being responsive. Getting the IRS to do its job can be even more exhausting than ever before. Sixth, the IRS is planning to get rid of 45,000 additional employees, right? So all the bad I just mentioned will only get worse unless the IRS is actually abolished. But aside from tough talk, there's no meaningful proposal to abolish it. Now, let's get to the ugly. It's undisputed that the IRS is currently spying on everyone's bank account in total violation of the Constitution. But the government will always do what it can get away with. So on one hand, we have a government that knows everything about your finances learned through both illegal and legal means. On the other hand, we have artificial intelligence getting better and better and being deployed in more applications. My point is this: never has it been easier for the government to get rid of the IRS employees without necessarily getting rid of the IRS. While many rejoice at the IRS being cut down to size, I don't see its powers being reduced. The IRS's powers remain fully intact, and AI can both audit and collect, bringing us to an entirely new level of government control. So now I've gone over the good, the bad, and the ugly, and before we get to the hopeful, here's how you can protect yourself from the IRS as promised. First, understand the IRS might not really be going away. It just might be replaced by something terrible. Second, if you're trying to resolve a tax problem, this is the hardest time to do so, but it works the other way around too. The IRS is letting many tax debts expire because they lack the staff to collect. Maybe they're letting yours expire. The point is this: before you start throwing money around trying to solve a problem, find out where it could do the most good. Relying on the IRS to tell you your best option isn't realistic. You may want to reach out to us at IRSMedic.com right now for total tax diagnosis. Our total tax diagnosis will tell you where your real threat lies and when your tax debts will expire. And here's my last tip. Simply expect more time for your refunds to process, especially on amended returns. Now let's get to the hopeful. The IRS isn't popular and isn't anything the American people ever asked for. For as long as I can remember, there have been those who have been advocating for the full repeal of the income tax, but they were always silenced and not taken seriously. Now we have the President of the United States who went on the Joe Rogan Experience, and he said the IRS was a stupid idea, one pushed by Americans' foreign enemies. I, for one, was taken aback by Donald Trump's honesty, and I doubt I'm alone. Many are waking up to the fact that the IRS and Federal Reserve are two sides of the same financial tyranny coin. The Federal Reserve creates money to give out to its friends, while the IRS confiscates the wealth of its enemies, the American people. With the income tax so hated, tax protesters are now encouraged. Since 1913, no American president has trashed the IRS so overtly like Donald Trump. He inspired and is giving hope to many, even if he doesn't mean it. If enough people stop complying with the tax code, it could be destroyed. The power of the bully pulpit is something we've never seen before, and now it's on our side. So what will happen? Well, I really don't know. The IRS could be abolished, which sounds great, but something far worse could take its place. I hope this video helped you find some clarity in this chaos, and with all the tax news, there is no better time to subscribe than right now if you haven't already. Be sure you turn on the notifications if you want to join us for our live podcast where we try to answer every question. This is Anthony Parent of IRSMedic signing off, hoping to see you next time.